Hey guys, it's Strack, and thanks for tuning in to what's possibly the last nice weather day in Georgia for the year. But I have some exciting stuff that I want to show you, but we'll start with a problem, and that problem was solved with this box by a YouTube user who goes by Out of Darts, something that he seldom is given the nature of his work so far. But before I get into that, let's talk about this. This is my full auto Zeus from the Mod Guide. A very exciting blaster, achieves excellent ranges and power and performance. A lot of fun to use in stock class ammo wars, and I've pretty much gotten the burst fire down. I like to call it burp fire at this point because sometimes you do get that fourth ball and it's just tough to control. So now's an excellent time to talk about things that I don't like about this mod, which is that smooth operator though I may be, it is still just a pain to reload these HIR or high impact round magazines. The release is strange. The overall operation is not ergonomic for me or really anyone that I've met and used this blaster so far. So to solve that problem, we have this modification. Now, Out of Darts calls this his Hurricane, which I'm trying to pronounce correctly given that it is a pun and a play on words worthy of any veteran nerfer. So when you consider that he is a little bit new to the scene, it's just an awesome pun. I'm a big believer in it. So the Hurricane, or high impact round Hurricane, is an interesting blaster that solves the problem of reloading the full auto Zeus modification by asking the question, what if you just didn't have to reload? This is some sort of selector switch. It is, of course, a modified magazine. Where's my regular magazine? Under this Zeus. So you can see that the magazine has been modified, chopped off, and then an elbow joint put in here, which leads to some clear, I want to say this is either polycarbonate tubing, it's irrelevant, leads into more elbows, into more elbows, into, you guessed it, more elbows, using the holder for Rivals magazines as a guide up top, and then all attached to this. I want to say that this is a PC fan of some variety, but I will explain the basic concept before I power it up because it's just a very exciting blaster. Now this is of course a T with an end cap. The end cap can be removed to add a paintball hopper if you need even more ammunition, but we're not going to go that crazy quite yet. I think that he did mods exactly like mine where he has removed the slip mechanism that only takes one round in through a time. So it is a full auto Zeus just with this ridiculously awesome extension. It's just like a super magazine similar to what we used to do for the reactor balls to make like giant 100-disc Vortex magazines, but this is just way better because the Rivals ammunition is of course just strictly superior to Vortex in terms of its war practicality. So this looks like some sort of burst module. I think he said that the burst feature was finished up here, allowing for you to select a 3-round burst mode if you did not want to go full auto. But just what an awesome blaster. I like that it's very low profile from the side that, in my case, being right-handed, goes up against my body. So if I ever have to cross, it's not in the way. And then all of the externalities are, of course, on this side, which is really cool. It also gives it just a great label to camera right there. Just what a really innovative and creative solution to the problem of reloading Rivals magazines. Just if you don't like reloading, don't do it. So let's load it up with a LiPo and see how it ticks. And we're back. So I've run into two issues which are not really design flaws so much as they are compatibility flaws. So I am not aware of how Out of Darts loads this blaster, but the sinusoidal motions of like shaking it down, rolling it around, back down, just to move like 1 or 2 rounds through is very tedious. So the loading process was getting to me, and I figured out that if I keep a little bit of like venting up here and actually run the motors, the rev switch is connected to the fan, the blower fan, which is an excellent design feature. It allows me to load much faster in stages. So you'll see exactly how this is moving rounds through the blaster when I do this, because this is how I'm going to load it. So holding down the rev, and those rounds move through the top tube as far through the blaster as they can. So but here we go. So end cap is on. He has maintained the lock feature, which is, or I thought he did, which was kind of cool. Nope, this switch is dead, just like mine. That's awesome. So, assuming that this does nothing and this is in fact the activator between one or the other, we'll start off, and hopefully the off position logically would be the just basic full auto, and everything looks to be in order up front. Let's go ahead and fire it. We've waited long enough. What was that? That was kind of funky. Okay, so we misfed one of these while we were revving up. No big deal. Oh wow, this changes everything. Oh my gosh. So first off, since he's not using the spring magazine and is in fact using this air blower, which is much easier to regulate while doing your rev up, single firing is actually quite achievable with this, which is just crazy. Like, watch this. Oh no. I get massive hop up with the off-brand rounds. That is a shame. We were gonna have to go all original from here on out, buddy, because these knockoffs cannot handle the 3S speeds. I run mine on a 2S. So let's try the switch, see if that puts it into 3-round bursts. Actually, before we do that, let's just do a solid full auto blast, because we still have plenty of ammunition, which is of course the point. But how do you compete with that? That's crazy. Let's try the burst fire, which is of course for conserving your ammunition, and I'm gonna try and fire it lefty so that we can. No, I'm gonna do it righty first, and then we'll watch on the other side in another test. Maybe I'm not engaging the solenoid properly. This is of course a prototype, and it could just be that I don't get it quite yet. It might take a little bit of acclimation to make it work flawlessly, but burp fire, as I call it, is working flawlessly, so I don't necessarily see the need for a 3-round burst feature, although it could be perfectly functional, and using the off-brand rounds is what's setting it off. But Blaster seems to be a tremendous success. Just really, really cool. Here, we'll add a few more so that we can see them being chambered in real time. And then we'll fire pretty much everything that's left in the blaster. I do like that occasionally with my full auto mod using the Springer, I sometimes wind up with a ball that doesn't feed because there's no spring tension left to push that last one through, and because of that I sometimes have to drop one when I'm changing magazines. So I think that this is kind of cool that you're never going to have like one left in the chamber. It will fire all of them. So first off, here we have just kind of like moving these through, and then we'll start firing. I think it'll fire in virtually any position, because even when it's straight up, it looks like the air pressure is enough. Well, once they're moving, it's pretty close. This zip tie, of course, holds these together for some stability. But let's fire from this angle. We're not going to actually watch the rounds fire. We're going to watch kind of how this cycles. And again, just nothing left to give, but what a really cool modification. This is a lethal primary for any sort of Sambo style war, I think. And like, I'm not going to ban it for the SCNC, but I think that some people are going to complain if I walk out with this or loan it to the Draculina for a round. Of note, again, this is a prototype. This is the one that Out of Darts built the entire platform off of. So when it originally only had, I want to say, 2 of these tubes, it was the MXV 5600, and now that it has 4 of them, I guess logic would follow that it is the 11800, which is terrible mathematics, but super duper into this. Very, very cool. Out of Darts himself is an excellent video producer with very handsome hair, so if you would like to see him doing various demonstrations with this, and he also has what appears to be a Ghostbusters proton pack that attaches in and feeds with a very similar apparatus, but I'm sure can hold like 500 rounds. I think he has a video demonstrating that, and that is really cool stuff. It reminds me a lot of a paintball concept that I was kind of playing with just forever ago, and so that's awesome. This is awesome. Just what an entrance to the modding community from Out of Darts to produce something that's so refined for a prototype and so incredibly functional. I am just pleased and tickled pink to bring this video to you and kind of let you guys know that Out of Darts is out there and he's doing some really cool stuff. He has a YouTube channel. I will link to one of his videos on this blaster specifically. And then of course you can find him through that. If you are interested in the full auto modification for the Zeus itself, I will also put a link to that tutorial down below, as I don't think that there is a mod guide for this specific apparatus yet, and I think that that's an excellent starting point. At some point, I'm going to have to figure out what this super cool PC fan or PC-like fan is, just so that I can try my own hand at one of these. Wouldn't it be neat to have a spirally apparatus? That would be fun. Just a really cool concept that has much more to come from it. I know that he is working on some prototypes with 3D printed parts to make all of this a little less jerry-rigged, although it's working great now. So thank you to Out of Darts for sending your prototype over for me to make a video on, and thank you to all of you guys for watching. I hope you really liked this video. I really liked making it. It was just a ton of fun.